Hello, and welcome to the Osteoarthritis Action Alliance Lunch and Learn webinar for November 17th, 2021. Thank you for joining us this month. Our presenter today is Pat Lawson, a formal martial artist and second-degree black belt in Shaolin Kung Fu. Pat has been practicing Tai Chi since 1992. Having worked with Paul Lam since 1999 and currently a master trainer for the Tai Chi for Health programs he designed, Pat also offers a variety of Tai Chi classes, including Tai Chi for arthritis for fall prevention, Tai Chi for rehabilitation, Tai Chi for heart conditions, Tai Chi for back pain, Tai Chi for diabetes, Tai Chi for kids, Tai Chi for life, and Tai Chi for energy. Pat has served on the coordinating council of the state of Florida Arthritis Partnership and is a past president of the Tai Chi for Health Community, a nonprofit USA organization seeking to improve the quality of lives through Tai Chi for Health programs. Before I turn it over to our speaker, I want to mention that she will be switching between her slides and video camera so that she can demonstrate some of the Tai Chi movements. For those of you watching live, you may want to adjust your Zoom view so that you are in speaker view rather than gallery. To do this, there is a view icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen where you can change the view setting to speaker view. Now I'd like to welcome Pat Lawson, who will be presenting Walking Through Water, Tai Chi for Arthritis for Fall Prevention.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad to have an opportunity to share a little bit about this program. I am passionate about it. It has helped me so much managing my own symptoms of arthritis, and I just can't say enough about the program. You might be sitting there wondering, why walking through water? What does that have to do with Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention? Why that term? So walking through water brings up for me an image of having to push through. And there are days when my arthritis acts up where I feel like I have to push through. It feels like an effort. Any of you who have walked through a shallow lake, walked on the beach, you know what I'm talking about. The water creates a resistance. Well, moving as if against a gentle resistance, but not to the point of discomfort, but just that imagery of moving through water is a basic principle of Tai Chi. And we'll talk about it later on. It's not meant to be uncomfortable at all, but it does join the mind and body together to coordinate with the movements, as well as all kinds of good benefits like better lymphatic flow and better blood circulation in and around the joints. The mind is very powerful. And if we imagine that we're moving through the water or walking through the water, the Tai Chi is even better. And that's why I titled this Walking Through Water. But let's begin with an overview of what is arthritis, since it's Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention. And I know that you all probably have a better grasp of this than I do, but basically you don't have to know a lot about it to teach this program nor to do it. Arthritis is inflammation in and around the joints or systemic, and there are over 125 types of varying degrees of severity. So only a professional could be up on all of those details and all the specific effects and symptoms of arthritis. It is estimated that 1 out of every 3 people I know in Florida, and I have read it for other states too, 1 out of every 3 people probably have arthritis, whether they know it yet or not. Sometimes they just attribute it to old age or I'm stiff in the mornings. But if they are tested or checked in a medical way, 1 out of 3 would come up with arthritis. People with osteoarthritis are at a high risk of injury due to a fall, higher than people without osteoarthritis. In addition, they may be more likely to have a fall. So falls are a really big problem related to arthritis. It could be more severe as well as more likely. And then there are some other problems of arthritis in addition to falls. It could be pain, stiffness, fatigue, difficulty with activities of daily living, medical expenses, depression, lack of socialization, isolation. And if you look at the list, this is really only a partial list, it could go on. But if you look at this list, some of these feed each other. If you have pain, you're probably not sleeping well. You're going to be more fatigued, and pain itself makes us more fatigued. If you're stiff, that's not going to help with this ADLs. It's going to be harder to get through the activities that you need to do every day. If you're having trouble sleeping, you're having trouble getting through your day, you may not want to go out. You might not want to be with a group. Maybe you can't keep up with the group activities. Lack of socialization. And that leads to being more depressed and feeling more isolated. And all of these will contribute to higher medical expenses. So there's a whole cyclical set of problems. And unless we can break the cycle along the way, break the pain part, or break the stiffness part, lessen some of these symptoms, it's hard to improve any of them. 1 out of every 3 people over the age of 65 fall each year. That's according to the CDC. And on the CDC website, they have down 2018, they counted 52 million older adults, 65 and over. There were 36 million falls and 8 million injuries from those falls. They're estimating in 2030, 73 million older adults, 52 million falls, and 12 million injuries. The medical expenses per fall are very high. And this is, to me, a staggering statistic. The medical costs due to non-fatal injuries, 50 billion. And what really alarmed me on the CDC site, medical costs related to fatal falls. I just hadn't stopped to think about fatal falls, $754 million. Very high medical costs. This is in 1 year. Falls are the leading cause of injury in older adults, and balance exercises have been found. Moderate intensity muscle strengthening, moderate intensity walking can reduce fall rates by up to 30%. Interestingly, the first time we fall, the injury rate is not that high. It's relatively low because we're caught by surprise. We don't have time to tense up. The second fall is the whopper, and the injury rate is much higher, often requiring hospitalization. People with arthritis have an even higher risk of injury. The CDC in 2014 issued a statement saying the only thing more effective than Tai Chi exercise is an individual appointment with a PT. So we know that moderate intensity muscle strengthening exercises, moderate intensity walking, both of these are part of Tai Chi. In addition, the CDC studied all of the research out there on Tai Chi. Our program, TCAFP, is in more than 30 studies that have been published in medical journals, but they came up with the statement that the only thing better is individual work with a physical therapist. And they have never come out with a statement naming any particular type of exercise for any health benefit before. Another interesting fact is that fear of falling is the biggest contributor to falls. Once people fall the first time when they're caught by surprise, as I said, injury rate not too bad. But what happens is they're afraid of it happening again. That not only leads to stiffening up upon the fall and injury, but it also makes us more prone to fall because we're not walking as naturally and as relaxed. We're anticipating a fall. So the conclusion in some of the studies is that therefore, if people undertake an exercise program like Tai Chi for Arthritis for Fall Prevention, that is evidence-based and shown to reduce falls, just the fact that they're taking it and know that it is effective ought to make them less likely to fall. That's really interesting to me. It's almost like you just have to be there and believe. Of course, it's better to be fully committed and be doing the exercises, but the researchers feel that just being in the class will reduce the fear of falling, and that is the biggest contributor, so you're eliminating that or decreasing it. So what is Tai Chi anyway? Sometimes people ask me, how much wood we break? Or they say, I can't do that. I can't break wood. That's a different martial art. That's Taekwondo. Tai Chi is a very soft, gentle exercise. It originated in ancient China from a need to preserve self-defense techniques as well as improve health. And the fighting monks, when they lost and were overtaken by invaders, they had to keep up practice, but hide it and do this slow motion. The invaders thought it was a dance. They're doing that slow motion dance again. But they were actually improving their health, lining up energy points according to traditional Chinese medicine, as well as practicing some sequences that, if done quickly, could be used in self-defense. Today, we practice it mainly for health. And Dr. Lam, the designer of Tai Chi for Arthritis and Fall Prevention, likes to point out that in ancient China, the biggest threat to people's lives was being robbed on the road, killed by a brigand, or killed in battle, or by an invading force. Today, the biggest threat to our lives is inflammatory disease, chronic conditions. And that Tai Chi is still being used for self-defense, but we're defending ourselves against these environmental onslaughts and what's happening in our own body. It's important to know that there are different styles of Tai Chi. And you sometimes see it written out as Tai Chi or Tai Chi Chuan. There's 5 major styles. So if you just go online and Google it, a lot is going to come up. Some are older styles that are a little bit more martial and a little bit more rigorous, or a lot more rigorous. Some have very slow weight transfers so that the joints and the hips and the knees bear the weight for a longer period of time before it's transferred to the other leg. So these are not necessarily the best for people with arthritis. Of course, it all depends on the individual, but in general, Dr. Lam chose Sun style as being better for most people with arthritis because it has some qualities that make it work really well. I'll get to those in a minute. And it's very rich in internal energy work that is shown to reduce inflammation. It's a word of caution that you will see Tai Chi presented all different ways. In general, Tai Chi has been shown to strengthen muscles, improve balance, reduce inflammation, and improve our sense of well-being. The Tai Chi for Arthritis for Fall Prevention program was designed by a team of medical experts as well as Tai Chi experts, rheumatologists, MDs, physical therapists, all participated with Tai Chi experts to design the program and handpick movements. Sun style was chosen because it has a higher stance and what we call a follow step. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. It's very rich in Qigong. Qigong is breath and movement to cultivate our energy. And Sun Lu Tang, who designed Sun Style in the early 1900s, designed it specifically for health. Prior to that time, the Tai Chi forms were written in order to preserve fighting techniques, but to do them slowly and help health. Sun Lu Tang, he was all about health. He was a martial artist who turned 50 and realized that he had to do something for his health. So it's very rich in energy work, according to traditional Chinese medicine. It's easily adapted to different levels of ability. It can be done seated. It can be done in a wheelchair. It can be done if you're using a walker, and it can be done in and out of the chair. People can move freely if they get tired or feel anything uncomfortable. They sit down and continue upper body as long as it's comfortable. It is evidence-based. There's more and more research coming in. It seems like every month there is another published study. Short, simpler to learn, and it has a lot of depth. So people don't get frustrated learning it. It's shorter. My first Tai Chi form in a traditional school took me 3 years to learn. It was 108 movements. But this is only 12 movements. And yet it has a lot of depth. So as people get comfortable with the movements, we can talk more about deep breathing, coordinating breath with movement, relaxing, letting go of inner tension. There's always more to look at in Tai Chi. Before I go on to the next slide, I'd like to show you what I'm talking about some styles having a longer, slower transfer of weight, and Sun Lu Tang's use of nimble-footed Tai Chi and lively step. So if you stay on speaker view, I think, and I'm going to stop the screen share. As soon as I can. There, I think now. So the most popular style, meaning practiced by the most people in the world, is Yang style. And it is the one you see most often in TV and films right now. It's just been around longer, and in the 1950s, China required it of all people. It was their national health insurance program. Mao knew that if people did Tai Chi every day, they would stay healthier. So he required this from the youth up. But the Yang style stepping involves putting all the weight on one leg, arcing the other leg out, and slowly, slowly transfer the weight. Then take the weight off the front foot, arc the other leg out. I'm holding on my left, and now I transfer the weight. So you can see that this is it's even paced, but it's slow, and there is a value placed on working low to the ground. Sun Lu Tang said, we don't have to work low to the ground. He realized energy arcs can be this way, but they can also be this way. So his design was an upright Tai Chi with no value on being low to the ground. In fact, you're not supposed to go low. All of that bent knee can aggravate knee inflammation. His follow step, the full step, is wait on one foot briefly while you place the next, and then bring it and settle. And bring the other one and settle. So you can see that this is at a little faster pace. I'm not holding the weight. This is the full step in Sun style. And then the half step, or the nimble step, 1 foot ahead, the other one just comes right away under my hip, but doesn't catch all the way up. Half step back. So very nimble. I tell people, think of Happy Feet and the Penguin movie, where they're tapping their feet all the time. This stimulates the soles of the feet. It's good for people with neuropathy. It moves lymph up from the feet. Nothing else pumps the lymph but our muscle movement. So it's good to keep stepping and to use this nimble-footed idea, either half or full, is very good for people with arthritis. We don't have to strain our knees. And it is a hallmark of the program. I'm going to go back to the slides. All right, so we know that it's going to strengthen our muscles, improve balance, reduce inflammation. And we know that this particular program, TCAFP, uses an upright posture and Sun style in general, upright posture. In TCAFP, we do step in all directions. We step forward, we step backwards, we step to the side, and it's a lively step. People who are unable to handle the stepping right away or ever, we can easily modify it for a chair or walker. And we can still work some muscle toning in the chair. We teach how to do that in the instructor training. We want people to keep their muscles as strong as possible and support those joints. Let's see. So what were those problems that I mentioned earlier? The problems of arthritis: pain, stiffness, fatigue, depression, medical expenses, lack of socialization. What has this program been shown to do in studies? Reduce pain, relieve stiffness, improve sleep. And if pain goes down, we find fatigue lessens too. Pain can contribute to fatigue. People's spirits lift. They have a greater sense of well-being. And Qigong, the Qigong included in the program, really contributes to that as well. It can be done in a group. It's not a contest. It's not, everyone works to their own standard, but you get to be in a group of people with a shared interest and something to look forward to. So it's an opportunity to get out and socialize. And all of that could reduce medical expenses. It all depends on the person and their doctor. And we do refer people to their physician and healthcare professionals. We don't get involved in any medical questions, diagnoses, or treatments, but this certainly has been shown to help reduce the problems of arthritis and the symptoms that we deal with. One of the big aspects and the biggest area that contributes to better balance, and why Tai Chi helps with balance as well as reducing pain, improving flexibility, etc., are the principles. If you're doing Tai Chi movements, but you're not applying the principles, it's not Tai Chi. That's pretty much what the old classics say. And you could be doing any movement. Maybe it hasn't been written into a form yet, but if you're applying these principles, then it's Tai Chi. These are what make Tai Chi Tai Chi. There are 6 major principles. 2 are for body structure, supple and upright. We don't lean, very good for balance. We get used to where our perpendicular axis is in relation to the surface of the floor or the earth. We like to stay upright, and we're very conscious of weight transfer. Even though it's a nimble foot, a nimble step, we put it in place, but we make sure the floor is there. There's no lumps, bumps, holes. Then we commit the weight. And that's practiced over and over again as we practice the movements. We're building our awareness of where is the center of gravity for me? Where are my feet? And can I get my center over my feet safely? Great for fall prevention. There are 2 principles that are about controlling the movement, outward movements. Slow, smooth, continuous is the rule. So no jerky or sudden movements. And that is often when people are thrown off balance. So the mindful aspect of moving slow, smooth, continuously, really supports fall prevention. And moving as if against a gentle resistance. This integrates the body and mind, and it integrates keeping our posture in the right place while we exert a little bit of force in the proper way without taking dangerous risks or moving dangerously, moving as if underwater. So these are the first 4 principles. And then 5 and 6 are internal, meaning they have to do with inside instead of outside, and they can't easily be seen. The first one is in Asia called song. And song means to loosen the joints from within, release the inner tension around each joint, trying to let go of stress even. This enables the fluids, the synovial fluid, the blood, other body fluid, to lubricate the joint better. It improves the condition of arthritis. It includes reducing perception of pain and improving flexibility. Song was a hard one for me to grasp because I didn't know why I would want loose joints. That was how I was thinking of it. Loose joints. It sounded like a broken doll, you know, when a doll's arm won't stay in the socket. But after I learned more about it through Dr. Lam and the physical therapists who know all about this, it helped me a lot with my Tai Chi and with my own arthritis. And it's not as esoteric a concept as it might seem. Sitting right where you are, keep your shoulders where they are. If there's a chair back and you feel it, keep your shoulder on the chair back and just raise one arm. And imagine you're in a jail cell unfairly and you have to escape, and there's a key on the other side of the bars, but you can't quite reach it. And you can't move your shoulder, and you're going to try to make your arm just a little bit longer and reach out. Do you feel that? Just a 16th of an inch more in your shoulder, a 16th inch in your elbow, a 16th inch in your wrist, in each digit of the finger, just a little longer. You can gain some length. That's joint loosening. Just letting go and opening up, letting the tendons and ligaments be a little more supple around the joints. Jing is the 6th one, mental serenity. Focus on the moment, being aware but calm. And with this one, I always think of a Jackie Chan movie where he's running through a crazy scene. Every one of his movies, the bad guys are after him and everything looks really horrible, like he's going to lose. In one scene, like a crowded hotel kitchen, and the bad guys are throwing pots at him. And Jackie Chan just makes straight for the exit, very calm, running as fast as he can and blocking so he doesn't get hit. But his mind is on where he wants to go, and he gets there, brushes off his suit, and usually moves on to the next scene. To me, that's Jing. You're not in a daze, you're not in a meditative trance, but focused on the moment, aware of what's around you, but very serene and accepting. Life is flow, and Tai Chi is based on natural principles of life and harmony. That everything is in motion, everything is seeking balance, but as long as there's life, there won't be perfect balance because that's what life is. It's the flow, it's the ups and the downs. And if we can just go with it and not fight it, we'll be better off for it. So those are the 6 principles, and you can see how these are really good for balance and fall prevention, knowing where we are in space, where's the center of gravity, being upright, knowing where our feet are hitting the floor and is there a hole there, moving slowly, smoothly, not too harsh, quickly, or rashly falling into our step. That's how some falls happen. Releasing inner tension and staying really focused on the moment. There was a large study done out of Australia on falls and fall prevention, and they found that one of the riskiest activities was hanging the wash on the clothesline. And they noted it in the study results specifically. And they said what was happening was that people were hanging their wash out, but someone would call them or they'd be distracted by something happening outside, turn their head, move quickly, whatever, trip over a laundry basket, a clothespin bag, walk into a clothesline. And so much so that it showed up in their studies as a major risk. Jing would help with that. Whatever we're doing, if we could stay focused on that and stay calm and serene and mindful, it will contribute to better balance and fall prevention. Oh, and my favorite part of Tai Chi is that nothing should hurt. This is one of my classes, and people have a variety of conditions here, from arthritis through Parkinson's through MS, but nothing should ever hurt. We don't work through pain. That's a Western concept. No pain, no gain. If it doesn't hurt, you're not getting any benefit. Not in Tai Chi. Tai Chi is based on Chinese medicine. And the caveat is, if it hurts, it's going to draw inflammation to the site. So let up, don't do that movement, make it smaller. It's enjoyable, it's fun. We all like it and we feel better afterwards. So I'd like you to try the movement that we're doing in this picture. And I don't have to get up because we'll do it seated. It's an example of how these can easily be done seated as well as standing. So if you're seated comfortably, feet on the floor, back straight, and just pick up both hands in front of your sternum, about as wide as your face. Open to shoulder wide, and then close to face wide. Breathe in and open. Exhale and close. Let's do it again. And relax your hands. So I want to say it really is just shoulder wide to face wide. More is not better. Sometimes people think bigger is better. Now the center palm, my Lao Gung points, are not facing each other anymore. So in Tai Chi, we learn the movements that we learn because they connect energy. So this move is connecting energy between your palms. And as you breathe in, think of your rib cage expanding, and breathe out, let it relax. So let's do 3 more. And relax. It's called open and close hands. And it is the second movement in the sequence. And it repeats a lot through the sequence of 12. So that one, do any time that you need to relax, reduce anxiety, or want more oxygenation. It's really helpful during these COVID times to increase oxygenation into the lower parts of the lungs. So when you expand your lower abdomen, breathing in, and then squeeze it, breathing out, you'll get deeper into your lungs. And the respiratory therapists are using those exercises in their practice now too. We do have a support system for Tai Chi for arthritis, for fall prevention, and all of our Tai Chi for Health programs. Tai Chi for Health Institute is an international nonprofit setting standards and supporting the trainings and the spread of these programs, tchi.org. Lots of free articles, research, tons of good information is available on that site, so I highly recommend it. Our instructors are certified for 2-year periods, and then they have to renew. And this gives us an opportunity to update, to check in with them. And if anything has changed, if there's new information indicating that a movement needs to be modified, we're able to reach out to all the instructors and make sure they're understanding that. They join the Institute for annual memberships, but their certificates are good for 2 years. And that's a good thing, keeps us all in touch, and we develop a relationship. There are 26 master trainers in the United States, and I believe we have almost 80 senior trainers in different regions. The senior trainers support the work of the master trainer and offer ongoing trainings for instructors. We call them skill builders. And we have over 800 instructors around the country. So we have a large network, but we have a support system built in for them. In addition, USTCC also supports instructors in North America with webinars, scholarships, etc. It is a separate membership. It's not part of the Institute. It is a 501c3, and they do some really good work. There are annual week-long trainings, there are weekend trainings, and there are skill builders. So there's lots of opportunities for people to continue on, whether they're a student, an instructor, or a trainer. And my email is up here too. Feel free, jot it down. Any questions, put them in chat. And if you want to get in touch with me, do keep my email.
Thank you so much, Pat. That was lovely. Thank you for sharing your passion for Tai Chi, and also sharing a lot of really helpful information about Tai Chi for arthritis for fall prevention. I really enjoyed the practice. So thank you for your time and for your expertise. If anyone has any questions, I know we're a little past our time, but feel free to type your questions in. Pat has agreed to stay on to answer any questions. For those of you who have to hop off, you can check the recording once it's available. So we'll look for some questions. In the meantime, I was wondering, Pat, if you could tell us how to know, like in the, when you Google Tai Chi for arthritis, a whole lot of different resources come up. How do you know you're getting the real deal? How do you know what's safe and appropriate for people with arthritis?
That's a great question, because there's so much out there. And if people are doing competitive Tai Chi for forms, it doesn't mean it's not real Tai Chi. It just might not be for us. I don't do that anymore. I don't need to. I need it for health. So if someone is certified by Tai Chi for Health Institute, that's definitely, they've had safety training, they've learned how to modify. That's the first thing to look for. And to look at what the postures are like. Often people will put pictures, even on a book cover, but they're hunched over. I have a book where the cover is like this. Well, that's not, Tai Chi is perpendicular to the earth. The major energy channel is next to the spine. We try to keep it nice and upright. So you can tell by pictures. And if something looks too challenging, someone's doing a half split, yes, it's too challenging. We don't need to be doing that. That's competition stuff. I compare it sometimes to ice skating. If you want to compete, you have to do the triple Lutz and everything. But if you just want to have fun and skate, you can go to the farmer's pond and skate. So we're teaching Tai Chi to support health, and looking for certifications is important, and looking at how the postures look when you look at them, because we don't need to be doing half splits or putting our knee over our toes or anything like that.
That's helpful. Thank you. And can you find classes through the Tai Chi for Health for the Institute's website? You can find local classes there?
Thank you. The instructors are listed, and you can send an email through the site to the instructor, and they will respond to you. So that's the best way for a regular kind of local class. And the Institute is now offering virtual classes as well. So they're limited right now. I think we were offering 8 different series, but you can register for a virtual class if you're not near one. But there is an instructor listing by state, and you can go in and see where people are at.
That's great. Thank you. And I have one more question for you. You talked a lot about balance and flexibility and fall prevention. Would you say Tai Chi is aerobic as well?
Thank you. Tai Chi is designated as an aerobic exercise because we do work circulation. We just do not speed up the heart. So we are not trying to speed up heart rate or pulse, but it is considered aerobic because we're working circulation and we do tone muscles. And sometimes people don't even realize it's happening until they go home and they realize they're a little sore. And we say, if you're sore more than 2 hours after class, then you did too much and cut back the next time, because we don't like soreness, but we do more work than it would appear.
So it's really a full body exercise program. Gets all the parts. Well, thank you again, Pat. We really appreciate your presentation today, and thank you to everyone who joined us. That does conclude today's presentation. We hope that you will join us next month for our December 15th Lunch and Learn featuring Jason Franz, who will present in vivo imaging, muscle neuromechanics, and rehabilitation for OA prevention. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Katie.